Top cards you're going to keep an eye on out here and make sure that you probably have for 2024. I want to give a quick little shout out here to our Black Friday sale that we actually have up on the website. There's plenty of pages of little abnormalities, odd little things for you to kind of go through, including a lot of sleeves from Japanese comic kit from the artist. So give this a look through. There are plenty of pages of things to kind of maybe pique your fancy. A lot of abnormalities, I would say, especially like we have Spanish lost arts and things like that. So I'll leave a link down below so you guys can check this out today. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. And remember, use our link down below for TCG Player Kickback on top of Kickback. It helps support the channel at literally zero cost to you. And especially, you know, I wanted to get this video out so we could talk about these. So the first one is Nephthys, the Sacred Flame. And I actually saw earlier in the day that this card was starting to get bought out. It took me a little bit of time to kind of process what's going on with this, but we've got some interesting support with this. Now remember, it's 2+ monsters, including a ritual monster to make. There's always going to be lots of ritual good stuff kind of floating around out here. But while this card is in the extra monster zone, monster your opponent controls cannot target Nephthys monsters in the main monster zone for attacks. And then it gains effects based on the number of ritual monsters used for its link summon. So fun fact about this. It obviously has its best specialization in a Nephthys deck, surprisingly beyond belief. But the cool thing with this is if you were to play this in something like Novelez, you've seen Novelez stuff going up, you can actually get some crazy stuff. So if you use one ritual monster, you're going to have this thing not be able to be destroyed by battle. If you have 2 pumped into it, it can't be destroyed by card effects and gets 1,200 attack points, so it'll be 3,600. And then if you pump 3 rituals into it, neither player can target this card with card effects, and it gains another 1,200 attack points. That is a 4,800 attack point giant flying chicken that you're going to have to deal with out here. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know if it's worth it. I do think that with the price point going up, the more and more people are heading towards it, which means as long as the eyes are kind of staring at it, well, maybe we should give some consideration to it. I also don't think they're going to reprint this card anytime soon, and especially with the Fire King stuff pumping on along the way down here. So keep an eye on the giant chicken. I think it'll be interesting. Next up is Pyro Phoenix, and this is an interesting one because I'm almost 100% sure the reason why that this is having movement right now is because people are genuinely looking at this as a replacement to Ambler Whale. Now, Ambler Whale bringing back the Bohemian Princess feels like infinite value, in my opinion. But Pyro Phoenix, remember, it's 2+ fire monsters to make that are effect. I love that. If you link summon it using a copy of itself, you can destroy all other cards your opponent controls. Well, the only build that should be doing that would be the Salamangreat build, and I don't know how you're dedicating this much extra deck stuff into it. But on summon, or you can only use each of the following effects. So you can target a link monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field, or if a link monster is special summoned to your opponent's field except during damage step, you can Pop-a-Roo it. And you get to ping your opponent for some damage. Which, I understand that, like, it's good for, like, some burn damage and trying to close out the game, but I feel like the Ambler Whale value is just a lot better because the floating on in, the extra, it feels a lot better to me. So I wanted to bring this up and go, hey, people are presenting this as an alternative to what's going on with Ambler Whale. If you were debating and going, well, you know, I want to make sure that I can get set for the best possible scenarios in the future, then having 2 copies of Pyro Phoenix, the Ultras, are like 30-40 cents. They're not much at all. The secrets are where your value kind of lies, but keep an eye on these sorts of things. The TCG loves to mess around with their ratios on things. Next up is low rarity, or excuse me, cheap cards from the Pot collection. Now, I know I've brought this up in the past, but especially with Black Friday and stuff coming up here, Some of the biggest things to kind of take away from the pot collection are obviously, the pot of greed. All the playable pots are worth something. But there are people out here that do like the spirit of the pot of greed, for example. The shard, the pot of generosity, even to a lesser extent, the pot of acquisitiveness. There are people that are looking at these cheap pots and going, screw it, like, I'll pick up a playset of these to be able to add collection. And I'm already seeing movements on these pots. Not every single one of these pots is necessarily a banger to have, but I do think for the long term, for how this set was, they're not reprinting these in this rarity. Like, this is one and done. So if you want to go through and play the penny stonk game, looking at some of these, a play set here or there of some of the more fun ones for, like, $3, $4, keep an eye on it. I think 5-6 years down the line here, once more of these pot collections kind of fade out of existence, I do think that a lot more people will be wanting to pick these up. So it's something for sure. Like the pot collection is cool for what it is. I still don't know what the figures are going for. I think we need to see more of those actually hit the market. But the low rarity stuff from this set as just stray pickups is 150% a pretty interesting long-term play. Who knows? But I definitely don't think we're going to see this stuff hitting quarters. Like, it just doesn't make sense for that to happen. Next up is Vanquish Soul. I don't know if you've lived underneath a rock as of late. Speaking of Rock of the Vanquisher, every single week I check in on the Vanquish Soul stuff. It always feels like we're always cruise controlling about 20 listings of Rock the Vanquisher. And honestly, I think this is a good time to point out, like, even like older you've seen the novelette stuff, right? Valmonica, kind of following a little bit of the same trend here, extremely heavy-ended, but extremely cheap. People look at the deck build packs and they laugh at them. They've become a laughing stock because they're not really as playable out of the box anymore. Only real exception, I think, as of late was, the Purely one, where, we got Rescue Ace and Purely, and now that deck is running the meta. But more and more people, the longer the packs tend to sit up, people don't want to buy the sealed product, so people go buy up the singles. And that's what we tend to be seeing a lot of here, especially in the Vanquish Soul department. Novelez was mainly because of Master Duel, and people were like, wow, this deck is actually a lot of fun. They just needed to add, the one good card on into the pool, and, we're off to the races for the cool ideas and things that you could be had here. But a lot more people are kind of turning to Vanquish Soul right now and going, hey, this deck is actually kind of good. There are some good alternatives to what you can do. Geolong, Kaiser Varius. Honestly, if the deck does get the chance to kind of go first, it does kind of spin things a little bit more out of control than I think people kind of want to give it credit for. So, something to consider, that Vanquish Soul cards are still on the move. Actually, just give this a nod for most of the duels pack stuff or the deck build pack stuff, heading on into this weekend. Just kind of keep an eye on it. If there's something you want, grab it. All right. And then, high rarity cards for Terminal World. Finally, we have reached the release of Terminal World for the OCG. This weekend, we are going to see Terminal World touchdown. Have Ritual Beast running everywhere, Ice Barriers running around. Somebody's going to try some Infernoid sauce. The point of this is, once somebody cracks one of these builds wide open, you are going to see the cards probably start to spin on up if you haven't already. Ritual Beast have already done some crazy stupid things with Ulti Kaya Pelio. But point of all of this is to go, hey, with the set release, we're going to be on edge, especially with Black Friday and things. So if there is something that you want, decide if this is the time that you want to pick it up, because playing the waiting game and on a release tends to just destroy the market. And you have two big events lining up: a set release, about to just toggle in a whole bunch of data, and then to top things off, well, it just so happens to be a powerful release week. So buckle up. And make sure that if there's something you want from the Terminal World set for high rarity, anticipating what's coming down the pipeline here, I would definitely not dilly-dally on that for sure. So those are the things that I would keep an eye on for the current point in time. Very, very interesting stuff. So please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.